Hey, welcome back. I'm David. Got our next project actually sitting right here behind me. So 2007, 2006, 2008, I don't know. Pontiac G6 convertible, hardtop convertible. She's rough, but she runs. So we're gonna clean her up. We got a bunch of front end work to do. No power steering. And this is one of the rare power steering cars that's not electric in this model. So we're gonna get that in. I don't know, I think it needs a wheel bearing, I don't know, whatever. First we're gonna pull the battery, get it and charge it and see how that goes. See if we can get this thing fire off and drive across town. I got the battery unhooked. I was looking over here. I bet this thing was running like garbage. Maybe it'll help it run better. I did put a power steering pump in this thing, so I was the one that did that. But yeah, I'm gonna look at that. Got a smiley face on it. It's probably bought it at a junkyard. Yep, pull apart. Yeah. All right. Well, we're gonna take it to the house, throw it on a charger, see what it does. Hopefully it'll take a charge. I don't know. It's been sitting here for a while, so let's grab it and we'll get out of here. But before that, I think I will do a walk around and kind of show you how bad this thing is. So like I said, it's a hardtop convertible. When I got it, the top didn't even work. I've got that working. But she's got some scuffs. The paint is in terrible shape. I can probably polish some of it, but I don't know. It's missing paint on the hood. The roof has terrible scratches in it. The inside of this car, door panel's off, but I think it's in the trunk. Didn't have a headliner in it when I bought it, but I did buy a headliner for it at the junkyard a while back. But it is disgusting. But I think it'll clean up. The motor and transmission worked great, but you could tell this old girl was abused. Everyone, well, not everyone. That tire's not completely flat. This one is. The ones on the other side are. Headlights are terrible. This headlight's broken. I actually have a spare inside I've already bought. But here's the worst part of the body. Just the paint's just peeling right off of it. I don't know what the solution is yet, but we'll have to come up with a solution. And they're on the top of the window too. So yeah. These are cool little cars when they're fixed up, but this one's far from it. So I'm gonna take that battery back and get it charged up and we'll get to work. I'm gonna crank her over and see if she'll start or not. Nope. Let's give it another shot. There you have it. I really hope this tire takes air. It's in the dirt. We'll see. So both tires on this side are having problems taking air. I'm gonna back it up. Sometimes that'll help seal the rim to the tire again. We'll try it again. We'll see how it goes. Hopefully it'll move on its own. All right, let's see, it's pull her in gear. Took gear. Oh yeah, she pulled free. Now we'll see if we can get air in those tires. I hope we do, because I don't want to have to jack this thing up. It is soft out here. Well, after moving it, I got the rear tire to take air. It's going to be fine. That front one's still flat. I want to mess with it a little more, just see if we can get maybe some weight off of it, and possibly it seems like it's just off the rim a little bit. So we'll see how it goes. Wish me luck. Put that jack underneath it, pulled it up off the ground a little bit. We'll see if she takes any air now. If not, we'll have to figure it out. We got to get it going. Well, I think we're going to be all right. Starting to build a little bit of pressure. It wasn't 0 or 10 or whatever, but I think we're building some pressure now. I think we'll be able to limp this one home. I hope so. Things I forgot. As soon as I got in, I grabbed the steering wheel. And yeah, no power steering. I forgot about that. Airbag lights on. It's been sitting here running for at least 40 minutes. Temp is awesome. Still has some fuel in it. So let's just see if we can get it to move out into the field a little bit. I'm going to have to put the camera down. There's no way I can hold this and drive with no power steering. So see how it does. I'll let you know. I forgot how bad the wheel bearing was or whatever's wrong with this thing. Yeah. I'm going to ease it to my uncle's house right quick and just put it in the driveway. Whew. Just got this car home. I didn't video picking it up, but drove it home. No power steering. My hands are so sore. We'll get to work on it probably tomorrow. I'll get it inside, but it made it here. So we'll get it fixed and send it on down the road, boys. This one's a challenge. This one's nasty. All right, so bear with me a minute. Let's talk about this car. This car I've had for over a year, and it was cheap when I bought it. Now, we know it has problems. It needs a power steering rack, at least one wheel bearing, I believe, maybe other front end parts. We're going to tear it apart and inspect it. I thought, let's turn this one into a low buck, and I mean low buck build. I have very little in this car. I bought it off Marketplace for $600 a little over a year ago. When I went and looked at it, it was at night. I didn't even get a good look at it, but for $600, you can't go wrong. So I bought it. I brought it home, had a shattered windshield. I had a windshield put in it. So I got $600 in the car. I got $100 in the windshield. I got about $50 in that power steering pump, and then $25 in the hose that went to it. And then I bought a headliner and a headlight for another $25. So right at $800 in this thing as it sits. With that being said, this being a low buck build, we are going to try to save all the money we can, and we're actually going to pull used parts. So, hey, at least we'll get to go to the junkyard. You know, that might be the highlight of this whole video to me. So, we're going to pull the wheels off of it, look at it, make a list. I'm terrible at lists. I'm going to make a list, though, and we'll go to the junkyard and see what all we can find. If I end up having to buy new parts, I will, but I think there were 10 or 11 of these things that pull apart. Surely, out of 11 vehicles, we can come up with enough parts to fix this one. So, 0 of those are probably convertibles. This thing could use some, specific convertible parts. We probably won't get those. However, we probably will be able to find most everything else. So, I'm going to shut my mouth and get to work. And let's get the wheels off of it and start the inspection. I've got us jacked up here, and I think I found what's wrong. It actually could have been worse. So the look right here. You see that movement? The control arm bushing itself is completely worn out in the front, but also I'm pretty sure you can't see or tell, but tire on end's junk too. But that's not a big deal. I'm not really concerned about it. Easy fix. In theory, assuming we can get the, look at all this. By the way, that line for the power steering pump is just pouring, so we got to fix that too. But assuming we can get the power steering rack out without too many hassles, this isn't a big deal. The other side's super tight. It actually has a brand new lower control arm on it already. Yeah, y'all can't tell probably, but yeah, there you go. Brand new lower control arm over there. So clearly they had this issue before, and they fixed that side, but this side they just let it go. And the inside of these tires are no bueno. These things are done. The other side's just as bad. So yeah, I'm gonna pull the wheel off and kind of figure out what I got to do to get the power steering rack out so we get enough tools to go with us to the junkyard. That's pretty much it. I'm not going to pull anything else that I don't have to, so just a lower control arm, and then I'll get the power steering rack out of the other car, and I'm probably going to just get both tie rod ends with it when I get it. So let me pull this, and we'll get in there and kind of look, see what's up. See the boots ripped on the rack. I have to wonder if this thing had the tie rod end went out on it. They just kept driving it, and it blew the seals in that rack from just jerking it back and forth. Yeah, it probably started out as nothing major and then turned into something major pretty quick. I'll bring y'all in here and show you the debacles. So, yeah, when they designed this bar, by the way, to take this bar out, you take all the front bolts out for the front subframe. So we're not going to do that. But I was finally able to get a wrench in here, and I'm sure that y'all, all of you have done this before, where you take a wrench and you put one through the end, blah, 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 for torque. Well, that wasn't cutting it. So I got 1.25 inches out. And yeah, we made a pry bar. Yeah, that's how I got it to break free. Then the bolt loosened right up. It's fine. I'm hoping that the other side, once I get it loose way over there, when I get it out, hopefully I can pick the rack up enough to get it off the remaining threads, which isn't a lot, and then be able to slide it over enough to take the lines off, and then it'll slide out. We'll see. By the way, not as a surprise, when I did get it off, the tie rod end on the passenger or on the driver's side was also bad. So let's go over there and see if we can break this bolt loose on that side and just see what it does. So here's my creeper. It's my good creeper. One of the things I love about it, just unroll it and you can bring all your tools with you. Great. Well, we find ourselves on the other side once again with some real leverage. See if we can get this broke loose. Yeah. So, yeah, sometimes you just got to be inventive. And also, this is the reason why mechanics hate engineers. They could have lined those holes up. There's so many things they could have done to make this better. Here we are. Let me get this out. Well, I was able to get everything unhooked, except the power steering lines. I didn't hook them yet because I know they're going to make a mess. I know all the tools I need to take with me to get the parts I need, so we're just going to load up. It's early. I think it's supposed to rain tomorrow or tonight. I don't know, but I figured let's go get them while it's not raining, and that way we'll have them. And if we, tomorrow we can work all day on this, and maybe we can wrap up the suspension. We have fine tires still. I am shocked, absolutely shocked, that the wheel bearings weren't bad. So, whatever. I'm happy about it, but I was shocked. I really thought that was what was wrong. Just goes to show, guessing never gets you anything. So you gotta look. But anyways, I'm gonna load up tools. My buddy Lee's gonna come pick me up. He and I are gonna go to the junkyard. Maybe we'll find something cool too. We'll look around. Lee and I have found us one here. I've only got 2 hours before I got to be out of here. I'm just going to pull the parts. I'll show you what we get, but I think we'll have everything we need right here.
Too big.
You ever seen anything like that? They put an acorn nut in there upside down and tightened it. I can't get it out. May have to move to a different vehicle. Yeah. Got a supercharger on this Buick. People pull those all the time. I don't know if they have any value or not, but looks cool on a big Buick. Well, we found this other one and it was really nice, and I've worked on it. I've got it all loose. I can't get it out. It's one for today. Yeah. We'll come back tomorrow. We're out of time. I had my rear end handed to me yesterday at the junkyard. We're gonna go back today. I almost have everything out, but Basically, we were like 2 bolts away from being done, but I physically just couldn't do anymore, and it was time I had to go because I had to go get my kids. So I'm gonna load back up today. It's just me today, no Lee. So I'm gonna head back and we'll see what all we can get pulled. Maybe we'll find something cool. I didn't have time to look yesterday. So this is how far I made it on the control arm yesterday. That bolt has to pass through the motor mount. So I got to pick the motor up, get that mount out, get that bolt out, get the control arm out, which by the way is fairly new. And then there's transmission mount bolt way back up in there. They got to take out, and then the rack's free. So I was almost done. But they're going to bring me an A-frame out here so I can pick this motor up, you know, not dropping on myself. There comes my A-frame. Well, I've successfully got this thing completely stuck in here. I've got the engine as high as it'll go without just pulling it. The axles are still hooked up, and I don't have anything to take those loose with. So, looks like I'm going to buy a steering rack. Yeah, we're going to get out of here. I'm done. All right, so Friday I got the rack and pinion out. As you can see, I had to take all the bolts out of the transmission mount to get it out of there. These cars come with an electric rack, and every video I'd seen had been on the electric rack. Basically, you just loosen it up and you get the electric rack out. Not so much with this one, or that's been my experience. Also, that's why I didn't buy a different one at the junkyard or even try. I only found 2 hydraulic racks there. So with that being said, I'm glad I bought the new one, because if that other one had been bad and I put it in and it was bad, I would have lost my mind. So anyways, I worked about 3 or 4 hours Friday and I was done. I was so done. So I took yesterday off. Yesterday was Saturday. Went and rode around with my kid and had a good time. So with that being said, today is Sunday. I'm just going to put in a little time today and see if I can get the power steering line in. I might try to wrestle the rack back in, but you know, if I can get 3 or 4 hours in today, I'd be absolutely ecstatic. And I'm ready to finish this thing up. Oh, last night I finally found a used set of tires. I found them on eBay. I didn't even know you could buy used tires on eBay, but $225 shipped. So yeah, that'll save us some money. Hopefully they're good. We'll look at them when they get here. Hopefully I did a good thing and saved some money. Who knows? So here's the power steering pump on this. You have to take the air box off. I've already had this thing off twice. Air box has to come off, no big deal. Unplug the mass airflow. Then you got to take the belt off, which also no big deal. This belt's brand new. I put it on when I put the pump on. I'd forgotten about it, but anyways. Then the pump itself has 3 bolts on the inside there, and it'll come loose. And then return lines up here. We're not going to change that. It doesn't leak, but the pressure line leaks up here. And I put a new seal on it and everything, and it still leaked. And I was like, forget it. I just got a new one. I think somebody's been in this before. I'm certain of it now after as much as I've worked on it. Probably trying to fix this issue forever ago. And they just stopped or whatever. I don't know. Maybe they didn't know what they were doing. But I think they messed the crimped fitting up or flared fitting up on the pressure line, and it's probably leaked ever since then. That's, you know, could have contributed to the rack itself going bad. So I'm going to jump on this, take this apart, and see if we can get that line out. It does feed back behind the motor. I don't know where it goes, but we'll get it out of there one way or another. Well, there you have it. It's all back together. That went really well. Of course, I don't have it hooked up on the bottom yet, but I think it'll be fine. Seems like there's plenty of room to move it around down there. I do want to show you something about this rack and lines. So the bottom part of the line uses these one-time use, focus, there we go, rubber seals on the rack. The rack probably came with them too, but definitely you have to change those if you're just changing a line. They will not reseal. The upper end where it goes into the pump uses an O-ring. It's nothing, but the bottom side, I don't know what you would call that. That's what it looks like. So anyways, I may try to wrestle that rack in today and just see if I can get it in there. Yeah, the more I get done today, the less I have to do tomorrow. Thought I'd give you all a good shot of the rack. It does come with those seals. We have 2 sets, no big deal, whatever. But yeah, that's what she looks like. Nothing special, but what a pain. What a pain. Let's see if I can wrestle it in there. There again, I ain't gonna be able to show that because I'm the only thing that fits in there. I got the rack back in. What a fight. I also got I got all that hooked up for as far as the trans mount and everything for the rack except for the tie rod ends. Actually, I have one of the tie rod ends on, but it's not tight. The other one we have to change the control arm on. Holy moly. If this was on a rack, it's probably maybe an hour and a half job to put that back in, maybe less, I don't really know, but laying on your back, not being able to get any sort of feel for what you're doing, that's a nightmare. I'm sure that's why they went to an electric rack, was they were having tons of problems with that. So, whatever. But it's in, I hope it doesn't leak. Hope it works. We'll find out. But I think I'm done for today. I worked way longer on a Sunday than I wanted to work. So we'll hit it again tomorrow. We'll go from there, get that control arm in, and kind of get everything buttoned up, and we'll take it for a drive. Really, this thing didn't need much more than that, so we'll go and drive it or whatever. We'll see. Here again, I can't figure out how to shoot this and make it look good. So I'm just going to do it, and we'll get it over with. So this control arm we established earlier is terrible. Got the new one here. So we'll just go ahead and there's not much to it. I'll take 2 bolts out that hold the rear end, one in the front, and then the lower ball joint. But I don't know if you'll be able to tell here. Well, this one will clear. The motor that, or the car I took that out of, I hope this is the same. The lower control arm I took out of that other car, the bolt right there was in the way of the motor mount. I had to take the motor mount bolt out, or the motor mount out to get the bolt out. I don't know if it had a different engine in it. I don't know. Regardless, I'm going to take this out right quick and we'll go from there. All right, I got it out. Yeah, it came right out. No big deal. I laid it on top of the other one. They are the same. Man, this thing was wore completely out. It's ripped away. I don't know if you can tell that. See, it's ripped away from the housing. Look at this. Actually, the ball joint was bad, but it wasn't terrible. If that had been the only thing wrong with it, you wouldn't have even known. But this one's in good shape. Ball joint's super tight. I believe this one had been replaced probably within the past couple of years on that car. So I'm going to slide this one in and we'll see if we can button this thing up. All right, as you can see, the lower control arm's all in. The motor mount not being there made that bolt super easy to get out, which at the junkyard I had jacked that motor up. So anyways, I started looking, and I was going to put the tie rod end on that I got at the junkyard. And somewhere between there and here, I've lost the castle nut. So I looked through one of my buckets of bolts. Nothing. So went out to AutoZone, just picked up a Dorman pack. Yeah, if you ever need those, it's 13559. And hopefully one of these will fit, and we can get this put on and buttoned up, and we'll change the oil while we've got this thing in the air, and set her back on the ground and see what's up. See if we can't bleed the steering. Well, there you have it. It's all put back together. Everything went great. Yeah, I'm gonna change the oil, and we'll see. Get that filled back up. Put some power steering fluid in it, and put this thing on the ground. Take it for a drive, see how it does. It's got to do better than it did before, so can't wait. All right, we're down here. I'm getting ready to pull this drain plug. I had to break this thing loose with a breaker bar. You should never have to do that. So, yeah. If you think you have to over-tighten these things to make them seal, then you need to do drain plug or a washer or whatever makes it seal, because, yeah, you shouldn't have to tighten it that tight. Well, that ain't bad. I mean, it's brown. It feels all right. Smells like old oil. That's what we want. It's kind of nasty down here, but most of it's where that power steering pump leaked for probably years. So I'm gonna let this drain. I'll go ahead and put a filter in it, and we'll fill her back up. Well, I got her back down on the ground. I've got oil all over the exhaust, so I'm gonna see if it'll start, back it outside, let that burn off, and while that's happening, we will finish bleeding the power steering pump. I bled it according to what GM says, which is basically put fluid in it, lock to lock to lock to lock with no pressure on it. We did that. But in my experience, that has never worked completely, so we'll get it outside. We'll top it off, put some more fluid in it. I got plenty, so it's not a big deal. We'll see how it goes. Yeah, let's get it outside. Well, I'm sure y'all could see that window didn't go down. We'll have to work on that. But let's go for a little ride. I'm gonna throw a mount up on the windshield, and we'll take a quick ride around the neighborhood. Yeah, first time ever I've had power steering in this car, so let's go check it out. Well, as you can see, I had to bring her in and jack her back up. Turns out this thing was leaking like crazy. There's a single bolt. I don't know if I'll even be able to get y'all in there or not to where you can see it. But here, let's try this, see if we can get you in there to see this bolt. Yeah. See where those lines are coming in? Probably not. Anyways, there's a bolt that holds both these lines in. It wasn't quite tight, so I was pouring power steering fluid outside. So I got it tightened up. I'm gonna throw the wheel back on it, take it around the block one more time. We'll see if she's leaking, and we'll call this video done. Well, seems we've stopped the leaking. It did really well on this little trip down and back, and it's still got lots of issues. The tires are here, so until we get those on in alignment, I really don't know that the entire front end is fine, but it's much better. So I think we'll be okay, but like I said, until all that's done, we won't know for sure. Plenty of other stuff broken on this, so we'll see you next week, and we'll see what else we can fix. Hopefully get this thing ready to sell. Kick this one out the door too. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next week.